What's going on, guys, and welcome back to another video. So over the last few weeks I've been pondering on which broker I want to use alongside Trading212, mainly to help improve my diversification and protection of my assets. So I put up a poll a few days back and 40% of the 96 people that voted chose DeGiro. So I'm going to use DeGiro as my second broker going forward. So we're going to open up a new portfolio there as well. And in this video, we're going to cover four main topics in comparing Trading212 with DeGiro. We'll discuss fees, product offerings, protection, and the user interface. At the end of this comparison between Trading212 and DeGiro, we'll discuss my plans briefly in terms of what I'm going to do with my portfolio in DeGiro going forward. And with all that being said, let's dive right into today's video. So when I started investing, I was originally with DeGiro. However, due to Trading212 offering completely free trading, it was quite an easy decision to move over to that broker. But since joining about 10 or 11 months ago, Trading212 have since introduced two small fees. And again, they are quite small, and there is a way around one of them that I'll discuss later on. But again, they did pride themselves on commission-free trading. So it's kind of annoying that they have started to introduce slight fees, and it is kind of worrying as well if they are going to continue to add further fees down the line. So I just want to stress as well, although there is two new small fees, they are still the best around in terms of fees and commissions, even for discount brokers. And the first of these fees that they've introduced over the last few weeks is FX charge. So we can see on the left here, we got a notification a few weeks back that they're now going to charge 0.15% for FX fees. Now, most brokers, even discount brokers, charge this fee regardless. So I'm surprised even beforehand that Trading212 did not charge this fee. But going forward, they are going to start charging this 0.15% fee on all non-currency related FXs. So anything that I'm buying that's not euro, I'll be charged 0.15%. The second fee that Trading212 have introduced is their instant deposits. Now, originally you could deposit as much as you wanted and you were not charged. But over the last few months or weeks, should I say, they have now introduced a fee that we can see on screen of 0.7% if you want instant deposit. Now, you will originally get €2,000 or dollars or pounds, whichever currency you're using, in credits before you'll have to pay. So you can see I still have a further €443 I can instant deposit before I'd have to pay that 0.7%. Now, there is a way around this. So if you use a bank transfer, which is another option of depositing, you can still do this completely free, although it will take 2 to 3 working days to go through. So I suppose the best way to counteract this, if you do want to use the bank transfer feature and not pay the fee, is to just always have a cash reserve within your portfolio. So let's say if I wanted to have, if I wanted to put €1,000 away today that I didn't want to use for a few weeks, but once I have it on my portfolio account already, I can use it anytime I want, so it actually counteracts the need to use an instant deposit fee. Now, in terms of fees with DeGiro, it's a lot more complex than Trading212. It all depends on a lot of different factors. For example, it depends on what exchange you want to use. The last time I used DeGiro, you had to pay €5 per exchange you use per annum. So that's worth taking into note. There's also such fees as FX fees. It depends what actual exchanges you want to invest on as well. There's different fees for that. For example, if you want to invest in your home market, it's a lot cheaper than investing in a foreign market. And also it's free to buy and sell ETFs. So there's a commission as well anytime you buy and sell shares or ETFs or options, anything related to investing, which isn't on Trading212. So that's one of the benefits definitely of Trading212, that the fees are a lot more simplistic and a lot cheaper in my opinion. I was also asked numerous times before if you could overview or trade or transfer, should I say, your overall portfolio to another broker. And we can even see here that, let's say if I wanted to move my full portfolio from Trading212 to DeGiro, it costs €10 per position. Now, I have 31 different positions, so it cost me €310 if I did want to move them directly. Now, obviously, I just sell them and buy them back here, as it would save me €310. But again, that is an option which is interesting to see. And also, just for reference, we can see they compare different brokers up on top here. Now, it's quite funny, I think, that they don't put any of the other discount brokers on this list, so it makes DeGiro look as good as possible. For example, all these Goodbody, Davies, Cantwell, etc., they're all a lot more established brokers that charge higher fees. So I would be interested to see a full different kind of comparison between, let's say, DeGiro, Trading212, Free Trade, eToro, etc. I don't think there would be as much as a gap if we actually did that. So for me, Trading212 wins the fee battle. Next, we look at the product offering and diversification. We can see on the left here, Trading212 have everything from stocks to ETFs and everything in between. Now, one thing I don't like is that you can't invest in every market, which is fair enough, I suppose. For a discount broker, you have to accept some of those limitations. But I can't invest within the Irish stock market. Now, unless you're actually from Ireland, you probably wouldn't want to invest in there anyway, so it probably isn't much of a downfall for anyone else non-Irish related. So we can see on the left here, they have everything from stocks to ETFs. For example, if you wanted to buy stocks, you can buy them in the following countries: Germany, UK, US, Netherlands, Holland, France, Spain, Switzerland and Belgium, to name but a few. But again, you can see some of the kind of emerging markets and some of your home markets might not be on this list. Again, you have to accept this as a discount broker in terms of limitations. Now, although that we'll see next on DeGiro, they might offer a few more markets and services, but one huge benefit of Trading212 in terms of product offering is that it's available to even the average investor with a tiny capital. You can invest as little as €1 or pound and you can start investing. So that's through fractional shares. So in my opinion, as a beginner investor, and especially even for myself now, even though I have €8,200, that's not a whole lot in terms of investing terms. So it is still very handy if, let's say, I want to buy 1/10 of a share in Tesla, that it's a lot more feasible and accessible than, let's say, if I had to buy one full share. So we're going to discuss that on DeGiro next. In terms of product offerings on DeGiro, if we click over here on the left, we click products, we can see they have everything from shares, options, futures, bonds, ETFs, etc. But mainly, most people focus on shares or ETFs. So for shares, we can see on DeGiro that I can invest within the Irish market, and we can see what exchanges on the right there as well. The European markets, they have a vast array of different countries within Europe. Again, that's kind of quite obvious that it's a lot more than on Trading212. If we go down to the Americas, we have the Canadian markets, etc. And then as well, if we go to other, down here on the bottom, we have Australia, Hong Kong, Japan, and Singapore. Again, these are not on Trading212. Although DeGiro does offer a few more countries in terms of product offerings to invest in, you kind of have to ask yourself if you'll even be investing within those markets. I know myself, I probably wouldn't be investing in the likes of the Hong Kong markets, Japan, Singapore, etc., due to my lack of knowledge within those markets. So that doesn't really make much of a difference for the average investor in terms of product offerings. But one big thing again is due to the, let's say, the fractional shares that you can buy. So that makes a huge difference on Trading212, and that's definitely one of the unique selling points, that you can buy fractional shares. So you can't do that on DeGiro. So let's say if you bought one stock for €100 and you had 110 within your account, you couldn't actually use 1/10 of a share with that extra €10, which is kind of annoying because for the average investor, you probably wouldn't have a whole lot. And of course, then my disc is nearly full. So in terms of product offerings, it's quite hard to decide which one is better. For example, DeGiro does offer a few more markets, but Trading212 does offer the opportunity to buy fractional shares. So I'm kind of on the fence, and I'm going to give each of these two brokers a half a point each for this comparison. So that brings us on to the third section, which is protection, and that's one of definitely the most important topics when choosing a broker. So with Trading212, it's worth noting that if you're within the UK, you're protected up to £85,000 sterling. But I need to stress the importance that if you're outside the UK, just like myself, I'm in Ireland, I'm only protected up to €20,000. Now, €20,000 is a lot for any average investor. I'm not even half the way there yet, but I do feel that once my capital continues to grow, that I do need to branch away from Trading212. And I don't really mean branch away, I just mean to have another broker to start putting capital in. So obviously once I hit the 20,000 mark within Trading212, I don't want to be investing, let's say, 30 or 40,000 in that broker, because if something did go wrong, and again this is extremely unlikely, but if it did, I'd only be getting up to half my money back if I had 40,000 invested. But with DeGiro, when I started investing with DeGiro, they too were only protected up to 20,000, but they've since kind of changed regulatory banks to Germany, so that has now increased your overall protection within DeGiro to €100,000. So that's obviously a substantial increase from the 20,000 on Trading212, and that's probably one of the main reasons why I chose DeGiro as my second broker of choice. So for me, DeGiro wins hands down, as you can have up to 5 times protection within the broker in terms of your own capital. And then that brings me on to the fourth and final comparison, which is user interface. Now on DeGiro, I'm currently just using the light screen. You can change it to dark mode, which I much prefer, but the light screen does kind of give the overall quality of the picture a better aspect. So in terms of Trading212, in my opinion, it is better because it's a lot more user friendly and it's a lot more kind of customizable. Even just, for example, you can change the user interface color. You can make portfolio pies, which is another huge increase in terms of popularity within the portfolio. So you can make any portfolio pies you wish. You can make them in terms of sectors. If you want to group different portfolio stocks into one, it's really handy to do so here. Again, so that is a lot better in terms of your overall user interface. And another thing that annoys me on Trading212 is the fact that it only shows you your overall profit and loss at the moment. So at the moment I'm up 15.1%, but let's say I sold all of these stocks, it would go back to zero even though I'm actually up 15%. So that's kind of annoying in my opinion. But another thing I like on Trading212 interface is that it's very easy to navigate through the different screens. Now I won't go into these today because if you have your own portfolio, it's quite easy to actually navigate through these screens yourself. But they do offer a lot of product offerings. They offer help and support in terms of videos if you're new to investing, all the way up to advanced investors. They have a lot of other things here on the left as well. So again, underneath my screen here, where I'm currently looking at, they have underneath up here, they have other options in terms of looking at your overall transactions, etc. as well. So it's quite handy. And there's also a new feature that's only available on the mobile app at the moment, but it's sharing your pie. So it is becoming a lot more, let's say, there's a lot more communication involved and there's a lot more interpersonal kind of aspect going into this broker, which I quite like. Whereas on DeGiro, it's quite a bit more bland. Now again, the product offering I showed you on Trading212, it was the light version. So if I change that to the darker theme, which I do in most of my videos, it looks a lot more a lot more friendly to the eye. But on DeGiro, it kind of just looks a lot more simplistic and boring. Again, boring isn't anything bad in terms of investing. It's not nothing about excitement, but I do feel DeGiro or Trading212, should I say, is a lot easier to navigate through. And Trading212 as well has a lot of helpful videos, unlike DeGiro. But DeGiro does have better product news in terms of the latest news within any of your stocks. So for that reason, I do think Trading212 has the better user face overall. So obviously, DeGiro would be my second broker of choice. I will be putting predominantly the vast amounts of my capital into Trading212 still for the time being, but I am going to start putting capital in here as well. So it'll be interesting to see what stocks I'm going to start holding within DeGiro. I don't want to hold the same 31 that I do in Trading212, so I do want to kind of diversify across different sectors and stocks. So if you have any suggestions, please comment below and I'll be sure to look into those stocks. Again, I'm kind of only concerned with more blue chip kind of high profile stocks. I don't really want too many penny stock style high risk stocks. So I'm going to start putting capital in here, as I said, and over the next few weeks I'm going to start looking into different markets, maybe outside the US, perhaps some more European markets or emerging markets to invest into as well. So it's going to be interesting to see how this pans out over the next few months. And with all that being said, that's kind of my comparison between Trading212 and DeGiro. In terms of Trading212, they won on fees and user interface. I couldn't choose between a winner between DeGiro and Trading212 for their product offerings, mainly due to the fact that you could do fractional shares on Trading212, but DeGiro did offer a few more emerging market countries, so I was on the fence with that. And finally, in terms of protection, DeGiro won hands down because you can get up to €100,000 protected on DeGiro versus 20,000 on Trading212. If you found this video anyway helpful or interesting, it'd be much appreciated as always if you're new around here, if you consider subscribing to the channel. And if you have any questions, comments, queries or suggestions, please don't hesitate to comment below and I'll be sure to get back to you as quick as I can. Thanks very much, enjoy your Sunday, and I will see you all in tomorrow's video.